Welcome to this week's episode of Test Flight. We're looking at the TSR-2. Please join me while we look at this British craft that never really got to take off. Right, welcome to the runway. So on the runway right now we have the TSR-2. This is by CaptainRoach, links below. So this has a lot of action groups I need to be aware of, and I also need to try and take off without crashing. So the TSR-2 was a strategic bomber designed in the jet age, or the start of the jet age, with changing environments. Prior to it, there had been the Canberra, was the sort of light tactical bomber developed by the British, and that was used by a number of different air forces and adapted by them. However, the Canberra's, while it had no defensive capability, its main sort of thing was flying high and fast. With the advent of Soviet ground-to-air missiles and so forth in the 1950s, it was decided that a craft needed to be built that could bomb but could also travel at high speed at low altitude, and that was where the idea of the TSR-2 came in. And so it was originally a fusion between multiple different companies, but we'll talk about that anyway. So we're flying along, and this is a lovely little example of the TSR-2. There were only a few of them ever built, a bit like most craft in Kerbal. You can see it's very long and thin. It's got that very British at the time delta wing. It was very much sort of the swept standard wing, slightly curved on the edge. You can see it's going low and it is going fast. Now, how maneuverable is this? Let's have a look. Ooh, it is turning on a dime. It's losing some altitude, but that's fine. Now we're gaining altitude. Wonderful. That is a nice little craft. Right. Now, one of the things about the TSR-2 was that it was supposed to be able to travel very fast, slow down, and also be able to travel, I believe it was supposed to go Mach 2 at sort of higher altitudes. But in low altitude positions like this here, it was aiming for, I think it was about 1.5, 1.6, Mach 1.5, 1.6. I'd have to check that exactly. I think, no, 1.2. That sounds better. So let's actually see how fast this could go. Now, it does have an action group, and that is action group 1, which turns on the afterburners, and that gets loud. So we can also knock on and off the reaction wheels. We've got air brakes, we've got interior lights I don't want to care about, but let's see, do we open the bomb bay doors? Yeah, look at that. So you can see it's actually got an action group for its bomb bay doors. That's really cool. And bombs away! Are we going to hit something? No, we missed. Okay. Well, that was a failure, wasn't it? Right. Close the bomb bay doors. We're going to turn us around. We're going to try and land this. Now, it is an interesting little craft. I do like this, actually. It's really cool. Went silent there because I was so engaged in the whole process. It's a really nicely built craft. I haven't tried to land it, and I probably will crash it, but it's got that feel. It's got that feel of a nice craft. It's got a bit of maneuverability. Remember, this wasn't designed to be like a B-52. It wasn't designed to fire loads and loads of bombs. The TSR-2 was designed to come in towards a target and hit just those things you needed to take out. It was designed to take out the hard points. Interestingly, it was also part of the design spec that it be able to do a little bit of takeoff and landing in short distances, primarily because the view at the time by the British was that in a nuclear war, most of the airfields would be damaged, and so that was the idea. Now, I'm obviously coming in unpowered, which is probably not the best way to do this, you know. But we'll do that anyway and see what happens. We're going to come in. Yeah, this is going to hit down hard, but let's see what it's like. Get ready with the brakes. Pull up a bit. Flare, 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 flare. Brakes. Look at that. Lovely. And you'll see it stopped quickly. That's really good. So that is the TSR2 by CaptainRoach. Let's move on to our next one. Welcome back to the runway. So we have the next of the TSR2s. This is the back TSR2 by HB Stratos, links below. This is, again, a really nice little model there. It's really nice in the fact that it's actually got the square appeal to the sides, the slightly square, rounded sides. That was quite sort of typical of sort of the English Electric Lightning, the sort of tall and body. Now, obviously, the TSR was built by a bit of a conglomerate of multiple companies, one of them being English Electric, who were famous for the English Electric Lightning. But it was made up of multiple agencies. It was cancelled though. It was cancelled because the government at the time felt that it didn't fulfil a role anymore, it didn't fulfil the need anymore. As with all things, changing governments change what people think they need. And so the interesting case with the TSR2 was that it wasn't just a case of cancelling, it was a case of completely destroying all remnant of the craft. So the incoming government actually not only destroyed the craft that were sort of being built, they basically burned them. The mock-up models were set on fire, all the paperwork was destroyed, so there's very little actually available. There are a couple of examples of TSR2s in museums, but by a couple I mean a couple. There were lots of them actually in development and so forth, right up until the day it was cancelled. But yeah, they were destroyed. So actually finding data on these things is actually quite hard. So this one flies lovely. Again, I must say both these first two craft are beautifully balanced. They fly wonderfully. I could take off the SAS and stuff and it still flies nice and level and true. We're going to cut the engines. This one has some, let's have a zoom in. So this one's got some action grips as well. It's got, you've got your normal up and down things. You've got flaps and you've got a bomb bay, because this one of course has a bomb bay area. You see lovely little bomb bay doors in there, isn't that nice? So you could actually load that up with your bombs. This one doesn't have any bombs built in, but even so. So let's get the gears down. Let's pull those bomb bays close, and I'm going to put the flaps on. We're going to just pull up, because I'm coming down pretty fast there. Put the ground on. We just skimmed the ground there. So this is obviously the TSR2 in its natural environment, low flying. Which interestingly sort of was adapted after this by things like the Tornado, and we're down. That's a nice little landing. Now you can actually see as we're going along here, this craft is a lot more sort of composite parts. It's more parts. It's more artistic. Again, these whole front sections here are actually built of shrouds. The whole craft is just really nicely done. You've got this multi-part tail that's really nicely shaped. It's a really lovely little structure as the sun comes down over us. We've got our little air brakes built in there for slowing down. So if I actually knock this off, you can see the air brakes hide themselves away. Same distinctive sort of style that we saw in the first one. Lovely little craft. Please give both of them a go. They're really good. So let's move on to the next one. Well, here we are with our third of 4 TSR2s. This is the TSR2 from SierraFox, links down below. So we're going to start this one up. This is an unmanned version, so that will be nice for not risking our Kerbals. It is, however, very loud because it has lots of engines. So let's see how this goes. Are we going to take off? Yeah, we take off. So lots of engines on this one. Oh, it is. Yeah, it's got a slight wiggle on. Oh dear. Right. Get the gear up. Why is it yawing? It has a yaw problem. We got whoa, okay. This is going to be ending badly. Yeah, so this was the SierraFox TSR2. Right. Well, that's not gone well. Maybe you could fly that one better. It's very nice, but oh, crumple zones. Yeah. Oh well, something survived. Right. Yeah, I think you might want to try that one. See if you can do a little bit better than me on there. So yeah, TSR2 by SierraFox. Right, here we are on the runway with our fourth and final TSR2. This is the back TSR2 by Sandubba. So yeah, here he's actually, it looks, and I haven't started yet, as though he's spent a lot of time looking at the engine area. There seems to be a lot going on in this area. I'm not sure what's actually happening. The engines on the TSR2 were actually going to be Bristol Sydney Olympus reheated turbojets, which were advancements of the Avro Vulcan's engines, and they actually were further developed to go on to be on Concorde. So they're a good engine. But let's see how this one takes off. So again, we're without a pilot. We're going to take off. See, oh, we have lost an engine. Oh, it's back again. Yeah, so again, it's got the nice sort of standard shape. It's a little fat in the back, but maybe that's quite accurate. Standard delta wings, very nice. Maybe a bit, yeah. Tail might not be quite right, but I'm not sure on it. Let's see if it'll take off. It's doing quite a lot of speed actually there. I haven't realised just how fast it was going. Yeah, we're up. It's a bit jerky. I wonder how many parts this is. I need to check how many parts this is. It is a it is really actually affecting the computer quite nicely, isn't it? Right. So I think I may have left the brakes on takeoff there. That may have accounted for some of the problems. So yeah, the TSR2 was a it was born out of a difficult marriage, shall we say. The original contract was basically, it was decided that it would be shared between English Electric, the builders of the Lightning, and Vickers, who were famous for a lot of other aircraft. Vickers being the sort of more mature, sort of longer standing aircraft manufacturer in the UK. It was sort of, they deemed themselves to be important. The big problem with the TSR2 was that there was a great deal of political involvement, shall we say, all the way through. So it wasn't just a case of two companies agreeing that they liked something. I cannot control this. This is going straight and not turning. Can we turn? It's finding it very difficult to turn. Yeah, so this craft is pretty difficult to get to turn. Just remember that. Yeah, so there was basically the standard sort of difficulties between the two. The design design process started in the sort of mid-1950s with the aim of actually having a craft flying by about 1963. However, with involvement of everything, it was a problem, shall we say. One thing I've noticed on all of these craft is that there was a big sort of bit made about the braking parachutes on the back of the Lightning, not Lightning, I'm getting confused, of the TSR2, because it actually had, between those two sort of big stuck engines there, it would actually have a braking parachute to slow it down so it could actually stop very quickly. The other thing was the actual engines had to be built in pairs, or they had to be paired up properly, because they were so close together, and the distance between the two in the middle was so close at their sort of the closest point, that if you got an engine that was slightly differently built, they wouldn't actually fit. They would actually touch each other. So they were really squashed in there. I am actually going... I cannot turn this craft. It will not bank, it will not turn. What is it doing? Has it got rudder control? Right, I would suggest that these craft, the last two, I don't think have got the maneuverability I probably would like. This one doesn't seem to have any sort of uppy-downy flapped orientation. Am I missing something? Has it actually got flap? I don't think it's actually got any flaps. It's got tail. Right, it's got... What are these set to? Pitch. It has pitch control on them, but they're just not doing it. It is very, very sluggish. You can see it's slowly turning. Really slowly turning. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to try and ditch this into the into the water. We're going to try. I don't normally do water landings with Kerbal because, you know. Whoa! Oh, it rolls. It rolls. Ah, oh no! Oh no! Ah, dear. Oh. Well, I think we'll end the episode there. I don't think we need to continue on with this. It's not. I'm sure I'll rescue it at this point. But anyway, that is the TSR2. Give it a go. Oh. Maybe the final two, you could actually try and fly a little better than me. I would definitely recommend the TSR2 by CaptainRoach and the BSC TSR2 by HB Stratos. I think they're wonderful craft. You modify them yourself, make it a bit more interesting. Stick a parachute on the back, see how that works for short landings. Anyway, until next time, have a great one.